KGW News at Sunrise.
Oregon is focusing on solutions to Portland's problems. There's a task force taking up the job, and it only has 3 months to come up with a plan. Plus,
it was a nice home, but it can be rebuilt. A lot of things can be replaced. The tough thing is the memories.
That man lost his home in the Gray Fire, burning right now near Spokane, Washington. We'll have an update on that fire ahead.
Also this morning, called a turf field fumble. We'll explain why football and soccer players at Portland's Grand High School won't be able to play games or practice on their home field this school year. That story's coming up later this half hour.
good Wednesday morning, everyone. The gang's all here. Everybody's back from vacation.
Yes,
Welcome. It's good to see you.
You guys worked last week, is that right?
Oh, we worked hard.
Silly them. All right, let's get you going with the radar this morning. There's an upper level low passing to the north of us. So FYI, driving up to Seattle early, maybe you'll find some of these showers. There have been a few specks of rain closer to home. There's a little bit of activity just north of the Columbia River this morning. This rain chance, spotty at best, will be out of here in the coming hours, and a mix of morning cloudiness will go on to be a mostly sunny, very comfortable afternoon. We're at 60 right now, 67 at noon, 80 for a high. You know, yesterday it was only 77. That's your forecast for today.
Okay, thank you so much, Rod. A new set of guidelines for outdoor dining in Portland will go before City Council later this morning. You may remember the city made outdoor dining a temporary fixture to help businesses during the pandemic. Now there is a push to make it permanent. The Portland Bureau of Transportation is heading up the new proposal, which outlines its recommendations for design, permits, and fees, as well as community impacts. The public is invited to weigh in after the presentation today. If approved, businesses can start applying for permits for 2024 in mid-October.
One goal of outdoor dining is to drive more people into downtown Portland, but there's still a lot of issues that need to be addressed before that happens. So Governor Tina Kotek created a task force to do just that.
The task force met for the first time yesterday and has until December to come up with a plan of action. Devin Haskins is covering the story for us this morning. He's live in downtown Portland. So Devin, walk us through what needs to happen between now and December.
Yeah, good morning. So the task force will meet over the next 4 months, once a month until that December deadline, where, as you said, they have to present that action plan. Now, if this all seems pretty new to you, that's because it basically is. Governor Kotek just announced this task force about 2 weeks ago. It's made up of about 40 people. That includes business owners and city leaders, and it's broken up into 5 groups that are focused on issues like homelessness, improving downtown and cleaning up neighborhoods, and making the community feel safer to be in Portland. After the meeting, Governor Kotek met with the media and gave few details about what was discussed. But according to a PowerPoint slideshow that was shared at the meeting and given to the media hours later, they talked about overdose calls, drug use, violent crimes. They also touched on things like the decline of the population and tourists coming into Portland, and over the last couple of years, as well as the population just declining overall from those moving away. One of those business leaders at the meeting was Leisha Schroeder, who owns Mother's Bistro in downtown.
For me, it's the drugs. I believe that fentanyl and methamphetamine is killing downtown Portland. So my quest is to deal with that and how it's affecting the city.
If it were just up to government, we are not going to be successful. We need every Oregonian, every Portlander getting behind, being part of the solution so we can get ahead of this.
So again, this was just the first meeting. The next meeting will be next month. And then, like I said, they'll meet again every month until that December deadline. Drew?
All right, Devin, just to clarify, Governor Tina Kotek at the heart of this task force, but obviously this is the city of Portland we're talking about, so Mayor Wheeler certainly has a say in all of this. I know he came up with a list of requests for the city. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, he presented right off the bat of this meeting and came up with a list that's about 8 pages long. Among those, $21 million that he wants to use to fund his mass-sanctioned homeless camps, as well as homeless camp sweeps, and to open a sobering center. He also wanted nearly 100 state police officers to move in and patrol downtown, or to come into downtown and create a state police office branch. And he's also encouraging business owners here in downtown Portland to encourage their workers to come back to the office with the deadline of about January 1st. Back to you.
Devin, thank you. Portland police say a man is in the hospital this morning after getting shot in downtown Portland. This happened around 9:30 last night on Southwest 5th and Morrison near Pioneer Place. Officers detained someone at the scene, but they haven't made any arrests.
Well, the Red Cross has stepped in to help several people displaced by a fire at an apartment complex in Beaverton. Take a look at some video from the scene last night on Southwest Walker Road near Murray Boulevard by the Nike campus. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue arrived around 10:30 to find flames coming through the roof of a third-floor unit. Crews got the fire under control in about an hour, then stayed out there for several hours to make sure it was out.
But they make sure when it gets into that attic that we haven't had heat and thermal exposure work through some crawl spaces or some small spaces where it likes to hide. So we want to make sure it's fully extinguished.
In total, 4 apartment units were impacted, 2 damaged by fire and 2 others by water. No one was hurt.
Now an update on the Lookout fire burning in Lane County. Authorities are set to release the latest information around 8 o'clock this morning. This is one of 2 fires in Lane County east of Eugene. So far, the Lookout fire has burned more than 12,300 acres and is 6% contained. Meanwhile, firefighters in eastern Washington are making progress on the Gray Fire southwest of Spokane. Containment is now up to 25% and evacuation orders are being lifted.
Sebastian Robertson with our sister station in Seattle takes us to one neighborhood near Spokane that was hit hard by the flames.
The Medical Lake community in Spokane devastated by the Gray Fire. Take a look at how hot and how fast this fire burned. Today's the first day really that residents are able to get an up-close look at the damage.
Cool, wet rain is a blessing for crews on the front lines of the Gray Fire.
Yeah, it's a little rough to look at right now, but it can be put back.
For homeowner Del Ryber, it's a little too late.
It's bittersweet because, man, we could have used this a few days ago, you know.
There's not much left of his Medical Lake home, a community he's lived in since 1997. The family is down, but their attitude could not be better.
Things happen in life, and you just have to deal with them. You got to take the good with the bad. This is the bad, but I've had a lot of good things happen too. One of our neighbors going by.
Good has been hard to come by since the Gray Fire sparked Friday, a fire that spread so quickly it jumped the interstate. In that time, it's devoured more than 10,000 acres, believed to have destroyed 185 homes, most of those in Medical Lake.
Well, it's just tragic. It's just like how much of it could have been possibly preventable.
Damage that at times seems random, perhaps even cruel.
It was a hot fire.
Some homes leveled, others untouched. The Rybers coming to terms with the total loss.
It was a nice home, but it can be rebuilt. A lot of things can be replaced. The tough thing is you know, the memories.
Memories turn to ash, and today they're soaked by rain. People that are hopeful the fires will subdue so that rebuilding can begin. The Rybers say they're not going anywhere.
Wow, what a story. Again, that was Sebastian Robertson reporting.
We actually have some friends staying with our family from Spokane, part of the family. They've been calling their parents, getting fire updates. I will tell you the wind patterns changed Monday night, were much more favorable yesterday, and continue to be favorable today for much of that Spokane area. So that's good news.
Right.
Here's a look at many areas still suffering from a lot of wildfire smoke leading to unhealthy air. Continuing down here in the southwestern corner of our state, more air quality alerts for Deschutes County today, the red dot unhealthy there. And then this big cluster of unhealthy air mainly starting to push out of eastern Washington over into Idaho as the wind direction has been more westerly sweeping across our state, which is certainly good news for us locally in terms of clearing out the wildfire smoke. Here's the big map. We're tracking large wildfires, 13 total being reported. That includes 300 acres or larger for grass and rangelands, 100 acres or greater for timber areas. You can see the cluster up in northern Washington, and here are the 2 fires burning near Spokane, including the Oregon Road fire just north. This is the main culprit, by the way, for the smoke that came in over the weekend and finally started to clear out just a couple of days ago. And then the Bedrock fire is still burning again. That's been dumping a lot of smoke into central Oregon for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, as you know. Okay, well, that rain we showed you up in Spokane was, in fact, the remnant moisture from Tropical Storm Hillary, the hurricane becoming Tropical Storm into California, and then the remnants rain worked up across parts of eastern Oregon and Washington. That is all gone. The only thing we're watching this morning is an upper level low tracking completely different system, upper level system tracking across Washington. So some scattered showers up around Seattle. A few spotty showers have been just clipping our northern areas this morning. So don't be shocked if you find a raindrop up in Cowlitz County out the door. Any spotty rain chance will be ending in the coming hours, and then the forecast for today will quickly just be all dry. 59 up in Kelso right now. Speaking of, Portland's sitting at 60. It's 43 over in Bend, one of the cooler spots. Forecast map for today, early cloudiness, sunshine coming this afternoon. Another pretty comfortable day, low 80s down the Mid-Valley in southwest Washington. After an early spotty shower chance, the sunshine is coming. Longview 78, Battleground in Vancouver only about 80. I have Portland at 80 with mostly sunny skies coming. Still looks like we'll be hot, 92 tomorrow. I know Chris McGinnis has been talking about that. And then a thunderstorm threat Thursday, overnight Friday, and then another rain chance on Tuesday. Multiple rain chances. Wow. Okay, that's your forecast for now.
Rob, we're going to talk about something else that's lots of fun. Money, finances, home mortgages. Bank downgrades have been in the headlines lately. So coming up here on Sunrise, we're going to talk about how those bank downgrades can affect anyone here in Oregon and Southwest Washington with a mortgage.